Okay, so starting off here, we've got Polyrhacus diameli, I think it's pronounced. Pretty much a jet black Polyrhacus, but it's got some hairs on its gaster that kind of shines in a silver, like silvery in the light. So I've got the flash on the camera to try and expose those hairs and show that, but I don't think you can really see it. She's in a pretty simple setup, really. Nothing spectacular here about it, but it's enough, and she seems comfortable. So that's the main thing. So that's her. I'll just try and get a bit of a close-up of her here. Always got to apologise about the unsteady hands. Gee, that there doesn't even look like a grain of sand, that bit there. It's there's something in the middle there that, apologise for the auto zoom there, but I think it is just sand, but I was wondering if it could have been eggs or an egg. So that's the first little thing I wanted to show. Next one's another species of Polyrhacus. This is our little outworld at the moment. It's sort of like a modular nest design, but I'm using it as an outworld. I printed this on the 3D printer. It's pretty cool because you can just pick up the entire setup. There's a couple of little lids in the top here that you take off, and you can see I've put some sugar water in this side, and if I want I can put honey in that side, and I just put protein in there by taking out one of these cotton plugs. To make the plastic, I simply just cut a lid apart, one of these lids, container lids, just cut some of the plastic off of that. Made it big enough that it would fit in nice and snug. So let me show you this one. So it's a bit of a modular design. It's got some female and male connections so that you can add on others, and there's other designs in the nest part itself that, with chambers and stuff. But because I just wanted to use this as an outworld, I just printed this one. And then you just print this little thing here as well. I had to do a bit of sanding to get this to fit properly, and even then it cracked the test tube. But here she is. Come on, zoom in. So that's Polyrhacus vermiculosa, golden tail Polyrhacus. She's beautiful. She's had these eggs the whole time, but the entire time they've been wrapped up in this bit of cotton, and she hasn't been able to unwrap them. And I haven't been able to do it for her either. Just bear with me while I try and, there we go. Don't want to scare her too much, but there we are. Come on. So she's lovely. I did have her in a different setup. Actually had her in her own little outworld down there. You can sort of see with the feeding tray in the middle there. But because I'm actually keeping this one for my son, I wanted to put it in something a little bit cooler that he can just grab and play with and move around a bit more. And so yeah, so I printed out that. So this is an update on how the Mimosia are going as well, I guess. Just an update on all of them. Here's the Mimosia variants. Shout out to Nathaniel Nathan Nathaniel. He's printed me out a bunch of other labels so I can label everything. So we got honey in that feeder over there. sugar water in this one, and just fresh water in there. They seem to really love fresh water, these ants, so there's a nice supply of that, and I like to water that top corner of the nest for hydrating. It's good because at the moment it seems like everyone's gone home, but there's usually a good three or four ants out at all times with these girls, especially once it heats up like around the 20-degree mark. It's actually 19 degrees in here now. And they do have a little bit of heat cabling running under the middle of their nest there, and that gives them a bit of keeps them pretty cozy actually. There we go. They seem to be pretty happy. You may notice the filming quality is just a little bit better. I've just mucked around with my settings on my phone. Although it's not the highest quality filming I can do, it's a good compromise between quality and not being too big. You can see the remnants of some prey over there. They're pretty active hunters, these girls. So they've been in an empire of ants. All in one Outworld nest that I bought from the Ant Keeping Depot. Now I don't use it the way I bought it. You can see I've taken the lid off and just put the whole setup into something larger. So, and because I've done that, I don't get any issues with mold, and there's plenty of sand on the top here and that, and I always just hydrate this back corner here, and I sometimes drip a few little drips into the actual nest entrance. They really love water, and so you'll see them come out and get quite active when the nest hasn't been hydrated for a few days. It's an indicator to me that it's time for rain. It's such a beautiful species. I don't know how the colour's going to come out, but they've got a beautiful like ruby red. Oh, dang. Yeah, pretty shy, pretty timid girls. Alert, fast, good jumpers, good climbers. It's just handy that there's none out at the moment, because I just wouldn't be able to have it off like this and just take my time filming like this. You may notice I'm a big fan of fake plants and vegetation for the ants to forage around and hide in. I think that's quite important. And these girls seem to be okay with the cellophane, like the imitation darkness, although because of the hydration, the way I hydrate the nest, they tend to just be congregating mostly in this back corner. You do see them move around a lot though. Oh, what do we got there? So in the middle of the screen there, we've got either a cocoon sac of a recent emptied cocoon, which I think that is what it is actually, which means they could be up to 7 workers now. Could be more too. It's so hard to keep track of them. Even though I can see into their nest, it's harder than you'd think to get around the back there and really look. And when you've got so many ants taking up so much space all around you, just try leaning over one without disturbing another. Oh, here we go. We've got some little arthropod living in there. It's amazing how this life just forms, you know? I don't know what that is, but it's pretty big. It could be like a springtail or something. I don't know. Tell me what you think that is. I hope it's not a mite or something, but it's pretty. Looks way bigger than an ant mite. I'd love to know if you know what that is, people. Some sort of arthropod living in there. Crazy. Hopefully it's a good thing and it's just eating up mold. Here's my main girl, Eve, piriformis. What a rocky road she's had. So if you ever watch videos with me from the start, she used to live up on this side here, on the right here, and had a big setup. I sort of made up 3 test tubes going into some vinyl tubing, 2 wet, 1 dry. It did her quite well, really. She had, I wish I'd just left them. But she had an issue with this worker that kept killing larvae, so I had to intervene with that, and then in the end, I moved them. And once I moved them into here, I'm wondering if perhaps I moved them at the wrong time of the year, because I moved them around about the same time as nuptial flights. I think it's possible that her workers started trying to gamagate, and she just killed her workers one by one. So she's got no workers, and all of her second generation ended up failing in the end. I don't know if you recall, if you were with me, but I tried to save the last 2, and out of those last 2, 1 spun. And although it did spin, it somehow died in the cocoon. They dumped the cocoon out here, and I left it for a while before I realised that they weren't maintaining it at all. When I opened it up, it had just had this dried up lava in it, so that's that, I suppose. So at the moment, though, she's got 9 decent 3rd generation larvae. She's doing pretty good with them, and she's a good mother. She's actually really good when it comes to getting brood through to the final stage. So now that she's back on her own, I don't know, I wish her the best of luck. I shouldn't have to move her nest to do anything like that. And so with minimal disturbance, I'm hoping that we'll have way more success now. Maybe more than 4 workers this time, and therefore maybe better success in the long run. This is my other Pyroformis. I've set her set up completely different to the way I've done all the others. Just, I don't know. I guess I got bored of the fake plant theme thing. So she's kind of got like all sorts of scenery in here, but yeah, it's she loves it. It's an awesome little setup. She really likes it. She's really comfortable and happy. And unfortunately, because of the way, hold on, I know what I'll do. I'll just take this lid off, because of the way that the flash reflects off of the outworld lid. You never get a good view of what's going on, and she's doing even better than Eve, my main Pyroformis, my first one. So I caught this girl this year, and she's got some real monsters in there already, even though her larvae, they're not as old. So I don't know what that's all about, but she's developing some beauties. She's got more, and they're bigger, and she's an active hunter, an efficient hunter. She's really good. She's got no bad habits. So far, I haven't had to disturb her too much, so I'd like to try and keep it that way. I'll fix that lid up properly after. So yeah, so she's doing really good. I'm really quite happy with her. And just to really improve my chances overall with Pyroformis, I've got a 3rd one set up in here. And she's going to get eggs any day. She's got heaps of eggs. She's going to have larvae any day now. Whoa. This Full Vipes just came out. They're doing a bit of maintenance. So, yeah, she's got a huge batch of eggs, and she's just a little backup. It's not a big environment, but it's enough to get a colony going if they really want to. If I have to, I'll just cover up the entire container, put the whole thing in the dark. But so far, she's pretty good out here. They've got a little baby cricket, just in case they want to do a bit of hunting, but it's been in there for a couple of days, and although it's not stressing them out, they're not interested in it for some reason. I'm going to see if I can... You're going to lose the beautiful colours, but I just want to focus on her a bit better, that's all. And we can see what she's doing. One thing about their toothless mandibles is they're really good at moving dirt. That's one thing I've noticed about them compared to... Because this is the only toothless species I have. So there's 3 workers in there and a batch of eggs. Extremely happy with the way they're going. As long as that cricket doesn't go in their nest, they're doing all right, and it's there for when they want it. As long as it doesn't stress out, I can leave it in there and let them live hunt it. If it starts stressing them out, I'm going to have to take it out. But I've been keeping an eye on it. So, this girl, I wanted to show people. Pretty impressed with the way this species looks. Let me just get a bit more comfortable. You'll notice here I've got some gauges for humidity, some obviously the temperature, and this is just like a weather gauge. And I've also got another thermometer up there just for a second reference of temperature in the room. I think we'll go back to some light for this one. She's like, I really love the way this species looks. Now, it's hard to tell this, but they actually do have wing scars. They've got a very sort of undeveloped set of wing muscles. And they also have a very large and highly developed gaster. And what I've noticed is I haven't even seen her come out, but she does come out and eat. But she doesn't do it that often. And it's like her body is about the same. Her gaster is about the same size as these piriformis here. But her body's nowhere near as big, and her wing muscles aren't either. And so I think they've got some sort of adaptation that enables them to sort of take more food in, because they don't have the fat storage or energy storage left over from depleting wing muscles that a piriformis would have, for example. I think they can get by just by being able to store more in their gaster, and that would make sense because they also don't have as big a body to fuel. Now, at this angle, you can just see the red pubescent hairs at the tip of the gaster, and that's something that's really awesome about this species, is especially some of the workers, you should really see that. Really awesome feature. So they almost look like big jack jumpers, but with red hairs on the tip of their gaster where the sting would be. I'll just put this one back on just so that she has some sort of privacy. And then as she comes into there, she's got something. This part sits over the heat mat, so this is just so she's got somewhere to allow cocoons to spin and whatnot, and then this is her outworld. So, and you can tell she's been out because she's killed a cricket. No, sorry, that one was pre-killed. She's put the cricket in the honey though, which is a sign of cleaning up. So, yep, she's definitely doing all right. It's good. So that means she's pretty good. She's happy. She knows what to do. So yeah, Myrmecia tarsata and Myrmecia fulvipes was the ones I was showing you over here. I've got another here she is. I've got another Myrmecia nigroscarpa queen too. Too bad I didn't mean to startle her though, but she's usually pretty chill. As far as nigroscarpas go anyway. Because I'm telling you, they're not exactly a chill species. And they see really well. As I may have mentioned before, all my red BullAnts see really, really well in these artificial lighting conditions. So, being diurnal species, their eyes are really well adapted to seeing in the day. And because of that, they can see really well in this light. And she knows to hide. She's a smart little girl. She's not really looking at me because the light itself is I'm between her and the light, and you'd be surprised how well that actually shields your movement from their vision. So, although they do see light and they know that there's light being shone on them, that's all they know. It's probably actually less stressful than them being able to recognize you. And as long as you don't get too close, they can't tell that it's close. They can't tell the difference between large and close until something is close enough to do that, and that's usually within about 10 centimeters. So there's a little bit of info for you there about their ability to detect how close you are. And once they do realize that you're both massive and close, well, then they're going to freak out. So anyway, so over on this table, yeah, you've got fulvipes, nigroscarpa, piriformis, and you've also got a little Camponotus queen in here as well. Not a Mimisia, obviously. I would show you her, but there's not really anything to show, and it would disturb these Mimisia way too much to do it, so I might not do it. So before I go back over to the other table, just give you an opportunity to have a little... Oh, is she finished, has she? Or did I disturb her? Hey, where'd you go? There you are. Okay, it's time to go home for her. So you may notice that a lot of the tubs have these little 3D printed black plugs in the lids. It's just so I can add food or remove food, even in most cases, or change honey or whatever, if depending on where I've put the feeder. Just all those sorts of things I can do with minimal disturbance. And in this case, I've just used cotton wool rather than trying to drill a hole through one of these weak lids. I've just melted one and put cotton wool there. So she had a cricket in there yesterday. It was awesome to watch her, but she was going crazy trying to kill this thing. And yeah, she just wouldn't sting it. She just kept biting it, and I think she just ended up pulverizing it after a while through bites. So anyway, back over here. So my Mimisia gallosa, she did have some larvae, and every time they went to spin, they'd fail. It's a bit, there's not really any good news with her. So what I did was I kind of backfilled the first inch of her nest with sand, in the hopes that in order to clear her way out, she would bring some sand back into the nest. That didn't really work, but she now has an entrance that's the perfect size to suit her, though. So that may make her a bit happier. But unfortunately, some queens are really bad or lazy when it comes to putting sand in their own setup.